Okay then, welcome back for another episode. This time we're going to take a look at Lycanthropy and how being a werewolf affects the progression and gameplay in Skyrim. So first things first, I need to become a werewolf. So if I go bat wolf me, it's a little console command I set up earlier. This should pretty much do the trick. It should give me the werewolf passive abilities. Yep. The 100% resistance to disease. Let's talk about this first and foremost. I believe this is put in place primarily to stop you becoming a vampire as well. To become a vampire you need to contract Sanguine Vampiris. I think that's how it's called. And obviously you cannot do that if you're already a werewolf. So there's no hybriding going on here. There might be a way, if I remember, to fudge it so you can do it in Dawnguard somehow. I'm sure I remember there's a glitch. There is a glitch that you can hybrid it, but we'll, it's not important for now. We'll have a look at the base of what is a werewolf. Now, I'm going to be running around in Dawnguard mode, so this is the way werewolves work as they do in Dawnguard, the DLC. The difference is there is no werewolf progression in the base game. There's no werewolf scaling and they don't have a skill tree. So let's wolf it up. Now this is a unique power that can only be done once a day. And it forces you into third person if you're not already, and boom! I became a wolf and all my gear got unequipped. Now, before we have any fun, let's just have a look at what this does. But we can't have a look at what this does. So, werewolfing reduces all your armor to 0. I think it gives you... reduces your health regen to 0. It might give you some extra health. It most notably increases your unarmed attack damage from the base level of 4 for most races all the way up to 20, which is huge in the early game. I mean, if we just have a look, this is me on a level 3 against a level 1 bandit, and one attack nearly killed the poor guy. And basically you get 90 seconds of werewolf every day. Oh, this is nice. You get 90 seconds of wolf, and these wolves shouldn't attack me because I'm a werewolf. So this is another feature, and later in the werewolf progression system, wolves will actually come to your aid. So you get 90 seconds, but if I eat this guy's heart, I'll get another 30. Additionally, I gain XP towards the werewolf skill tree. As you can see, my werewolf level here is, at the moment, still 0. There's nowhere it shows, I just don't have any perks to spend. And as soon as I've eaten enough corpses, I'll get a point, and then we can take a look at the perk tree. So let's go do that. You can still jump as a wolf. You can still sprint as a wolf, which is when he goes on all 4s. You can't sneak, which is a little disappointing. You can left attack, right attack, power attack, and he does this absolutely devastating flurry. And this is the finishing moves, but it just got clipped. So let's extend my time a little bit more so things don't wear off. So it's a shame there's no sneaking. To be honest, I think for me half the appeal of werewolf form would have been being able to stalk people and pounce on them from behind and get a stealth attack off. I think that would have been really cool. And it is a shame it's not included in the game. So let's drop this lever actually, jump this gap I think. Yep. And
thought I heard
boom! That's the sprint attack. So if you sprint and hit the attack button and manage not to get lost in the darkness, you can. So as you can see, I've taken some damage now, and if I eat this heart, these guys are keen. I should basically regen health when I eat hearts, and gain XP towards my werewolf. Perfect, I just got it. Let's just eat the rest while we're here. health has gone back up, and my time in wolf form has been extended. Now, interactions are limited in wolf form. I don't think I can pick locks. No, I can't open doors. I don't believe. Bum, bum, bum. Yeah, so that's all. But you can use levers and stuff, so you can use it in dungeons. So this is a werewolf perk tree. Now this is it's interesting. These first 4 perks in bestial strength increase damage by 25%, and they're kind of the gateway perks as well. So this will take me up from, instead of being at 20 damage, I'll now do 25. Now this is where werewolf gets a bit weird. They are very, very strong early in the game. As you can see, I'm literally just tearing through targets. But they're pretty bad on the higher difficulties. Because they feature this, there's no way to advance your gear, because all your gear gets turned off when you wolf it up. There's no way you can really increase your stats as a werewolf. This perk system, which is now actually included in Dawnguard, so it's better than it was. The only thing really worth noting is that the effects of some powers, consumable buffs and stuff, I believe, do carry over into wolf form. So, yeah, you also can't loot in wolf form, so that's it's a bit odd that you can't do that. I understand why you can't, but from a gameplay perspective, it means that werewolf form is only a battle ability, and it lasts so long and can be used so rarely. You tend to only really pop it off when you're sure you're going to get into a big fight. So let's take a look at the skill tree before I go and cause havoc. It's okay, it's quite interesting. And I just realised we need to show something else off before we do that. But most of the stuff in there is stat-based. As you can see, people automatically hate you as a werewolf. So that's in... Oh, and I just one-hit that guy. You also get this growl, this power which can literally expand. This is called your howl. And there are different howls available in the game, the totem system, and they have different effects. This one fears people. Oh, look. She's scared. So this is just ridiculously powerful. Normally werewolves would not be available a little bit later in the game, if they don't want to do that. But basically the howls are managed through a totem system. They're very much like the shrines, so if this pile of wood was a totem, I walk up to the totem, you know, the fear totem, I click on it, and then my howl makes people fear, so I do a totem attack. That one will make me... so that will change my howl to actually summon wolves. God, there's so many people! I never realised how... Advar! Goodbye. So Advar's having a bad day, and there's that child, which you're not allowed to kill her. She's unkillable. So yeah, so totems change it, and you unlock the totems very naturally as you progress through the werewolf kind of storyline. So I won't get too into how that happens, but you basically unlock a location that you can go to, and then in that location you can pray to the totems and change the effect of your howl. There is... It's quite 4 minutes powerful. There's the fear one, there is the pack one, and I believe there is a hunt one. It's called Totem of the Hunt, and that gives you kind of a detect life, see through walls, see where targets are within a certain radius type thing. It's very like Night Eye combined with detect life, or it might just be detect life. I can't remember what the base version is, but it basically shows you. Yeah, so as for the perk tree itself and progression, I've mentioned that it removes all of your gear, it removes all of your weapon stats, it removes a lot of your effects. Your one-handed skills and stuff have zero bearing on how this works. Originally when the game released, werewolf armor and defense scaled with light armor, I believe, but in one of the earlier patches that was removed. So we've got the typical 25% damage. These now help werewolves scale a bit better into the late game, but they don't do enough. By the time you get level 50, playing on the higher difficulties, you just don't stand a chance. These enhance the calls, so instead of summoning wolves, you summon ice wolves, and obviously ice wolves are much stronger than wolves. And then this upgrade here will summon other werewolves, so that shout becomes incredibly good. 100 point bonus to health and stamina while in wolf form. Yes, it does also look like you're given plus 50 base health and plus 100 base stamina when you enter werewolf form. So this would give you another 100 health and stamina. Feeding heals twice as much. Feeding already heals quite a lot anyway. We'll see how much in a second. And then the ability to feed off any dead creature, pretty much. I believe it's not undead, and it gives you another 15 seconds instead of a full 30 that feeding off a corpse gives you. Your fear affects higher level creatures. I think that pushes it from something like level 13 to level 25, but I might be wrong. And the predator is the hunt one I was talking about. The one that shows whether or not where targets are, and this upgrades it so it shows whether or not they're in combat and stuff. Now, this is an interesting system. It's good that the werewolf progression has been included. It maybe wasn't needed. Sorry, Dorf. Oh, chickens. Yeah, it maybe wasn't needed, but it's a very welcome addition. They could have just had the werewolf stats scale with your current level, and to be honest, I would have liked to have seen this to some degree anyway, because werewolves are they're just so good in the first 10 or 15 levels, and they're just so bad late in the game. It's very, very difficult to play on legendary difficulties. Yeah, it's very difficult to play like that without actually getting massacred by every NPC you come across when you're in wolf form. So that's about all there is to werewolf forms. Every time you feed, you gain perks. They're powerful in the early, weak in the late, and they just have the attack, the power attack, the flurry. Oh dear, I got killed. So that's me getting killed by 3 or 4 level 6 Imperials. Something that wouldn't necessarily happen if I was to fight them. If I was to even just fight them normally. So as you can see, werewolf can be a little bit underpowered, very, very high damage, but they take a lot of damage too. So it's an odd system. They typically they can be used for stealth characters, but I would see why they would appeal to a brawler character. Now brawler characters, obviously you think, oh, it's big muscly wolf form, you'd switch into it to fight when you got stuck, that'd be cool, but more often than not in the late game they're not as good as you would be just staying out of the form. They do make quite a nice, I guess, skill for stealth characters to have if they've got poor combat stats, because being able to switch across into this wolf mode to actually hold your own in a fight can actually be very useful in the early game. And I think if this was enhanced even more, so it scaled a bit better with your level, and let you sneak, it would fill that role even better than it currently does. But I'm gonna go into a full redesign in another series. So that's it for werewolves. I don't think I've missed anything. There are some small benefits you can get through quest items, you know, unique effects and stuff like that. And there goes Skyrim again. Good timing. But I don't want to spoil that too much. Basically, some of them just let werewolves have a bit more control over when they turn and stuff like that. But that's it for Lycanthropy. It's a fairly simple system. It's nice. It adds a lot to the game. It would just be even better if it's scaled appropriately. That's it. Next time I'm going to have a look at vampirism and how that works.